Hi, good evening. My name is Vedam Jaishankar, and I bring you news from the end of the second day's play of the Ranchi Test match between India and England. As you are well aware that India are leading by 2 tests to 1, and this is the fourth test. And the way it is sitting right now, the first 2 days have both been absolutely England's days. They have dominated play both on the first day and the second day. They were in a spot of bother on the first day, but got out of it brilliantly thanks to Joe Root. And by the end of the second day, actually, England is in the driving seat. They're sitting on a very, very healthy lead. They made 353 in the first innings, and India at the end of the day's play are 219 for 7. That is still trailing by 134 runs. And it is a very, very tough pitch to start with. But before I tell you a little more about the game, there's a very interesting aspect about this particular game and the selection of the England team that I would like to dwell on at least for a couple of minutes. Basically, because this is also an extraordinary situation. England is usually not prone to make these kind of quick, sudden decisions. You know, they wait for a player to play for a long time, and then just before he is fully seasoned, they just push him into the international lineup. But what we've seen today, or rather for the selection for this Test series, is something extraordinary. But why am I talking about this? That's because the person I'm going to talk about for a minute is the guy who's picked up 4 wickets for England today, a youngster, a 19-year-old boy called Bashir. And it's because of him that India are actually facing, maybe I could even say defeat, though it's only 2 days old. Because the way the pitch is behaving and the way these English bowlers are bowling, I think it's going to be very, very difficult. But nevertheless, Bashir, 19 years, maybe just 20 years of age, it's a very, very funny incident, or rather very interesting incident, how he's got into this English team. So let me expand on that. His county, Somerset, made 11-second Twitter video. Twitter, of course, is X. Twitter video and put it on social media. And somebody called Ben Stokes, the captain of England, chanced upon it. And in that video, that 11-second video, he saw Bashir beating Alistair Cook twice on the forward defense with balls which jumped and turned. 11-second video. Alistair Cook actually made about 128 runs in that innings. But in that 11-second video, both of them, both deliveries from Bashir that he saw on that video, he saw the ball jump and turn. And he saw this guy, tall right arm off spinner, getting to do that. Immediately, he put it on a WhatsApp and forwarded it to Brendan McCullum, who is the coach of the England team, and ECB's Rob Key. And according to Stokes himself, he said, we have a small WhatsApp group, and I shared it with the WhatsApp group. And having played a lot of cricket in India, I thought this is the sort of bowler that we need who will trouble the Indian batsmen on Indian pitches. Can you imagine? I can imagine Pakistan doing these kind of selections quickly on the fly. But England making such a selection, and what a brainwave it has been. So there he was, the others also agreed, and many of them saw Bashir for the first time when they went to Abu Dhabi for the camp. Stokes himself confesses that he hadn't seen Bashir before, and the first time he saw him really live in action was in Abu Dhabi. But he said there were a lot of things about him I liked. I liked the fact that he was tall, he spun the ball, he had a little unorthodox the way he delivered his ball, and the way it spun and jumped, and he said he delivers from a height. And the fact is that youngster doesn't have too much of first class experience. So he chose him and threw him into the deep end. And what a fantastic selection it's been, particularly today. He's bowled 31 overs. He has picked up 4 wickets. 31 overs on the trot he's bowled. Picked up 4 wickets. And what has been outstanding about his bowling is he is bowled in that channel right through, just outside the right-hander's off stump, or when the left-hander is batting in the stump area or just outside the off stump. And at the right length, the length has been the key. His height, the length, the turn he is getting, and it is the right length, I say, because there are some cracks on the pitch. And it is his length which is helping him exploit those cracks. And he's been absolutely brilliant. I don't think a single batsman has really mastered him. The way he's gone around picking him, and he's picked up the top wickets. Jaiswal, another brilliant knock from him. He made 78. In fact, he was the only batsman who looked totally in control. And he made 78 before Bashir got rid of him. Got him bowled. The ball kept low, but he got him bowled. He got Shubman Gill LBW. Again, he bowled in the right corridor. And Shubman Gill was trapped in front. The thing is, his length was ideal. The line he was bowling was also ideal. And he was bowling at the right pace. He had the temperament to really, even if he was hit here and there, he didn't mind. He was not really hit because it was very difficult to hit on this track. You had to get to the pitch of the ball, which was difficult. And the good thing about Bashir was he kept on varying his pace. He was bowling between 80 and 98. That's the speeds at which he was delivering. So you were not sure which delivery would come at which speed. So that was a good part of it. And I think Ben Stokes had complete confidence in him. He just used him at one end, and not only to shut down the Indian batsmen, but also to get wickets. While India was in the match maybe a bit early in the day, when they got England all out for 353, Jadeja picked up 3 of the wickets, their overnight wickets, and suddenly England with 353 all out. But by then it was already apparent that 353 was going to be a very, very big total. It was going to be really challenging. And like I said yesterday, batting last is not going to be a joke on this pitch. And we saw even batting second is not a joke, because the pitch was doing quite a bit. Quite a bit in the sense, it was an up and down pitch. Some balls, there were cracks had already developed. And whenever the ball hit the cracks, it either flew off or it kept low. Some turned, some didn't turn. So it was a difficult pitch. And to compound it, maybe somebody like Rohit Sharma could have done something, the captain. But Rohit earlier used to be a little hedgy against the in-swinging ball, especially at the start of his innings. But now we see that he is vulnerable on both sides of his bat. Today he got out to the outswing, the ball which left him. And he finally edged it. But there were at least about 2 or 3 other occasions where, he looked all at sea when the ball was just pitched there and leaving him. So I think Rohit left very cheap. I think he made 4 runs, and it was left to Jaiswal. And of course, the other youngster, Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill was very, very watchful, whereas Jaiswal played his usual innings, willing to hit the ball. I think he hit 1 or 2 sixes also. And he was very composed. He was very composed and played very well. But the point was, with Shubman Gill, that was actually the only really worthwhile partnership that India really had. Let me get this. They put on 73 runs. I beg your pardon, 82 runs. Jaiswal made 73. They put on 82 runs for the second wicket. And but for that, it was an unbroken 8th wicket partnership between Kuldeep Yadav and Dhruv Jurel. Those two have already added 42 runs for the unbroken 8th wicket. Those are the only 2 worthwhile partnerships. But for Kuldeep Yadav putting his head down and batting, and Jurel playing brilliantly, he really played brilliantly. He came in as a wicket keeper who could bat, and he's shown that he can bat. He is unbeaten already with what's he unbeaten with? Jurel is unbeaten with 30 of 58 balls, and Kuldeep is unbeaten with 17 of 72 balls. So these 2 are there holding fort. But the point really is the rest of the Indian batsmen, they struggled. They really struggled. Whether it was Sarfraz Khan, we expected him to play well because he's very used to playing spin bowling. At times it looked like he could play spin. He was playing late and other things. But he didn't take the battle onto the English team. And this is not a pitch where you could, defend and try and get away with it. Because sooner or later, one ball had your number. And that's exactly what happened to him. It turned, he edged the catch to slip. So maybe he could have been a little more aggressive when he came into bat. That was not to be. Jadeja tried to be aggressive, hit two sixes, but for some reason he played defensively to the wrong ball. It was a short ball, it already got forward, and he tried to play that defensively, but Paddy was caught at forward short leg. So I guess the choice of deliveries to hit also was wrong. But India are facing an uphill task. That's the bottom line. And if you ask me, maybe we'll go into the final decider test at two tests all, because this is going to be very, very difficult. It- we really have to pull a rabbit out of the hat if you want to escape from this, because 134 runs, already 134 runs, England are ahead. And even if they get a lead of 70 or 80, it's going to be very, very difficult on this pitch. Whatever you chase in the final innings, even if it is 200 or 250, is going to be very tough, because you can have a fast bowler bowling wicket to wicket at a length, maybe hitting the deck at a length, or a spinner bowling at that length, keeping it wicket to wicket or just outside the half stump. It's going to be very difficult. You don't need to do anything else. You just have to keep the ball there, and the pitch will do that. Finally, there are questions being asked. If a 41-year-old Anderson can play three tests without any break, why can't a Bumrah play continuously? If he wanted a break, he could have taken a break just before the IPL, or in the first few matches he could have missed. Why is it that he has to take a break at this crucial juncture? That is something people don't understand. Because look, this pitch had Bumrah bowled, he was the person who could have bowled at three quarters length or even slightly shorter wicket to wicket area, and with his pace, he would have been devastating. There's no doubt about it. The odd ball would have just crept along the pitch, and some would have gone up, and he would have been a handful. There's no way any batsman in the world could have taken him on this pitch. That being the case, unless there was some injury that the team is trying to hide or not make it known, I think it was a very poor call. A very poor call by the captain, a very poor call by the coach, and a very poor call by the selection committee to rest him. If India had won this test with Bumrah there, they could have rested him for the final test. That perhaps would have been the right thing to do, but not this. So tomorrow, a lot, virtually everything, not just a lot, everything depends on the last three Indian wickets, how close they get to the England target. They're 134 runs behind, as we said. They need to get very close and then bowl England out. I don't think England is going to play defensively. They have seen what has happened in this pitch. They know that it's a question of time before you get out. So they would rather go after the bowling and chance their luck. And if they can set India a target of even 250 runs, I wouldn't even ask for 300 runs. Even 250 runs would be nearly impossible to get in the fourth innings. So that's the sum total of it. We are looking forward to a good day's play tomorrow, but I think it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle of wits. It's going to be a battle between two theories, and India are right up against the wall. That's it from me today. Good evening and have a pleasant evening.